Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the athletic fields here at Milford High School as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coette on the call as we begin more coverage of this Milford boys soccer team, today taking on a rival from the Davenport division in the Foxboro Warriors. And Milford, it has been a very hot start out of the gates for the Scarlet Hawks. They come into this match right now in the top spot in the Davenport division standings with a 3-0 record. Foxboro right behind, however, just a couple of points behind right now with a 1-0-2 record overall on the season. So 3 quick wins out of the chute for the Scarlet Hawks, and their offense has really been leading the way. They right now have been the most high-powered offense in all of the Hockomock League through these first couple of weeks of regular season play. But going up against another offense here today capable of piling up goals in a hurry. They haven't been able to quite flex their muscles yet on this season. Just 2 goals scored so far in the year for Foxboro, but they are capable of putting up goals in a very short period of time, led by one of the elite strikers in all of the Hockomock League. So it should be a very entertaining battle, a very good early season test for this Milford team. Again, a lot going right for the Scarlet Hawks so far on the year, and looking to keep that going here today. And just moments away from getting this matchup started. Looks like the sophomore Kevin Gomes getting the start in net today for the Scarlet Hawks. On the other side, between the pipes for Foxboro is Dylan Tierney. And so Milford carrying out of their defensive end as this match gets going. And Milford will push it right back inside the box. This is our second opportunity to see this boys team in action. They wasted no time scoring when we covered them just about 10 days ago in a matchup against the Franklin Panthers, as this play is whistled dead. Pedro Araujo racing up the far sideline, the keeper for Foxboro out to defend, but that play whistled dead. And the foul will give the Hawks an early free kick just inside their attacking side of the field. Shooting it up to Leo Coelho. Has a goal to his credit in the early days of this season. Actually had that very first goal of the year in Milford's season opening victory against Franklin back on September the 6th. But for Milford, looking at these 3 victories so far on the season, 3-1 was the margin of victory over Franklin. More on that in just a bit as this one will scoot in on net, but it's picked up quickly by Tierney. He'll roll it back out softly to one of the senior captains on this team, Timmy Bain. For trying to intercept that pass along the near sideline. Coelho now breaking back out towards the middle of the field and will push it back to his D-line. Now Foxboro getting there. Briefly talking to Coach Edwards before this match, he expected this to be one of the biggest tests so far on the season for the Hawks. After that 3-1 victory against Franklin on the 6th, they were able to follow that up with a pounding 7-2 the final score, victory over Sharon High School on the road, then continuing to operate on the road on September 13th. That was last Friday. It was a 2-1 win, a tight ball game played on the road against King Philip. And so Milford already winning in a number of different ways in this early stretch of the season. In a familiar perch atop the Davenport Division standings. That's, of course, where they finished last year as Davenport Division champs. Good feed up the near sideline, and Foxboro has to deflect that one out of play. Off the foot of number 18, Will Morrison. And very quickly back in to Pedro Araujo. Araujo right now atop the stats in terms of scoring in the Hockomock League. Of course, a lot of these teams with just 2 or 3 matches under their belt so far. That ball deflecting back to Gomes, who was able to make the stop. Araujo with 7 goals through 3 games. That is by far and away the top mark. This Foxboro team with just 2 goals on the season, but both of those goals have been scored by their very talented senior striker Dylan Barrera. And both of these teams ended up having the 2 top goal scorers in the league a year ago. For Milford last season, it was Wallison de Oliveira. For Foxboro, it was Barrera in his junior season. And we could very well see the 2 top scorers in the league come from these 2 teams again. A good kick from Foxboro that takes a nice Foxboro deflection, but then just up and over the goal. A very scary moment early for Milford. That ball came booming in from about the 45-yard line. Deflected up over the reach of Kevin Gomes, but fortunately over the net and out of play, so we stay scoreless, but an early chance for the Warriors. Carrying this one ahead now is Lucas Da Silva. Pushes now to the near side where it's picked up by Coelho. The lone junior captain on this team this year, Coelho, along with a trio of seniors, Nuno Mestre, Jordan Borges, and Dan Santos. We aired our early season look at this boys soccer team on the Milford Informer last Friday, so you'll be able to start to view that on our video on demand as this week goes along. Just outside of the opening 5 minutes of play here in what is by far the best weather we've had for a soccer match so far this season. This ball crosses the length of the field for Foxboro, but that kicks out of play. Nothing but blue skies overhead, temperatures right around the 70-degree mark, so a nice summer-like day here as we get into the middle of September. Foxboro trying to carry that inside the box. Milford getting the partial clear. And now we'll send this ahead for Araujo, trying to settle it down. Good footwork. Now crosses back towards the near side and ends up hitting the deck, no whistle. And crashing into Foxboro's Will Morrison. Into the far corner now, where that travels right to the edge, and Gomes' momentum might have carried him outside of the box. And so a free kick coming out of that far corner right at the edge of the box. A little bit of a breeze on that side of the field as this ball bends up over the net and out of play. And so Foxboro has had the 2 best scoring chances early on in this half. That looked to be the senior captain, Joe Cusack, taking that free kick for Foxboro. Mentioned Timmy Bain, Joe Cusack, also Ronnie McClellan, the 3 captains on this Foxboro team. Did lose a good deal of seniors from the team that ended up just edging out Milford as the highest scoring offense in the Davenport division last season. It was only by a margin of about 5 goals. So both of these teams were able to put up goals with regularity last year. The real difference between these 2 clubs last season was how they were able to handle themselves on the defensive side of the field. Of course, Milford was one of the stingiest defenses. Very strong goaltending as well. Taking a look at those numbers last season, Milford allowing just 13 goals in total last year. Foxboro allowing 41, so a glaring difference there defensively. Foxboro looking to improve upon those numbers this season. And so far this year, they have been able to do just that. They've allowed just 1 goal on the season, but have only been able to score 2. And so the result has been a couple of ties in their last 2 matches. A 1-0 victory out of the gates against Mansfield, since then ties against Canton and a scoreless draw against Taunton. "32 minutes still left on the game clock here in this first half as Foxboro sends in the corner kick from the near side. Through traffic, Milford is able to push it back outside, but the defense pinches in to send it back in deep. Almost took a very good bounce for Dylan Barrera. We know it doesn't take much for him to generate offense. Milford not seeing a lot of time on their attacking side of the field so far in this first half. You can see Foxboro keeping a couple of defenders in very close proximity to Araujo after what he's been able to do so far on the season. Pedro Araujo listed as Pedro Mora on our roster, but getting word from the coaching staff prior to the game that prefers to be known as Pedro Araujo, so making that change for the broadcast here. Many of you likely heard me referring to him as Pedro Mora in our first match of the season. Scoring a goal as part of that victory against Franklin, and then, of course, scoring 4 times in that victory against Sharon the middle of last week. I believe it was last Wednesday. And so a very early timeout called here within the first 10 minutes of this first half. And so these two sides will have a chance to talk things over. A lot for Coach Edwards to discuss with his group, as Foxboro has generated the majority of the chances here through these early minutes. Scoreless. We'll pause for the timeout. More action to come in just a moment here on Milford TV. Back out of the timeout. Milford trying to regroup here. They've been a bit flat-footed to start this match. Pushing this across midfield now. A little bit of room for Jordan Borges, and that pass just a hair slow as he had Coelho streaking in towards net. A little more on that pass, and likely Coelho would have been able to get a shot away. This will roll free to Coelho, and then he sends it right over to Foxboro, trying to win it back now. But this will get cleared. Santos pushing it back across the center of the field, carried along by Lucas Da Silva. We talked about it a little bit on the broadcast against Franklin, but this is a Milford team now that has confidence that their offense can come from a lot of different spots on the field at any given time. And that has certainly shown through so far on the season. We talked about Leo Coelho and his goal to start this season, as this shot gets released. Getting the fingertips on it is Gomes, and now keeping his feet just in the nick of time to deflect that ball out of play. Oh, was that ever close. Sprawling out. Kevin Gomes able to make the stop, could not hang on to it. And fortunately, that one rolling on the outer edge of the goal mouth, and Gomes able to protect as that ball ended up out of play. We saw Leo Oliveira in net for that season opener against Franklin. Kevin Gomes has been good so far as well. Played a game and a half leading into today. So Milford trying to settle down their goalie situation in the early days of the season, as Da Silva took a shot there. Didn't have much of an angle, and Tierney was able to protect. But Milford now will have their first corner kick opportunity of the match. Not a lot of wind out there. You can see those flags just lightly drifting at the corners. Now this one taking a deflection for Foxboro to try to get the clear. Now dumped back in by Araujo, and a sprawling save made by Dylan Tierney. But the Milford sideline a lot happier with the effort they've seen in this last sequence. Coach Edwards right at midfield clapping his hands, as now we'll see the corner kick come in from the far side of the field. Takes a deflection down. Coelho just out of his reach. And over to the far sideline and out of play. Still 26 minutes and 52 seconds to go in this first half action. Scoreless between Milford and Foxboro. And on a play for another Milford corner kick. So Milford all of a sudden now starting to accumulate some chances. This one drifts far out. Araujo able to get to it. Trying to free himself. Good attempt there, but Foxboro keeping the defense tight around Milford's early season star scorer. Araujo transferring into Milford for the school year and has really melded seamlessly into this soccer program and has become an immediate factor out there. Coelho couldn't catch up to that one before it drifted out in front of the Foxboro bench. The head coach for Foxboro is Joe Franchino. The first of two regular season meetings between these two schools. The results have been fairly even. In fact, if you look at the numbers overall going all the way back to 2014 between these two schools, it is Foxboro who has a slight edge. A 3-5-2 record. That is Milford's record in this matchup going back to 2014, but Milford has now won 2 of their last 3 meetings. So Milford has gotten the upper hand recently. And again, a lot of that has been thanks to defense. Foxboro wanting to see a handball called for there. But no whistle comes. Instead, Foxboro will toss it in deep on their attacking side. Long toss. And taking no chances is Gomes. He smothers that. Milford poking it along for Coelho, trying to stand his ground. Some physical defense put on there by Foxboro. Dumping it back in to their attacking side. Now legs getting tangled up. Nuno Mestre over there for Milford. Free kick for the Warriors. Drop this one down, but Santos able to get there first for Milford. Now Borges loses his feet, gets right back up into the play. And now room along the near sideline for Lucas Da Silva. And ahead to Coelho now, has one man to beat, trying to keep his positioning. And the Foxboro defense able to get in there to break up the chance. Nicely done by Timmy Bain, one of the senior captains for Foxboro. One-on-one in towards the box, Coelho and Bain able to get the upper hand that time. So you can see some improved defense for this Foxboro squad already through this first half. Still 22 minutes and change to go as the goal kick comes out softly to Bain. And then carried ahead briefly by Jeremy Neal. Coelho trying to wrestle it free. Up ahead now, P.J. Frost for Foxboro. And now, booming shot from about 20 yards out, but that one deflected by the Milford defense. Back down the field, just out of Coelho's reach once again. Foxboro continuing to win the possession battle in this first half, but Milford has had some better sequences here over the last 10 minutes. Over now for Gabe Alvarenga. Able to blow past one defender. Careful footwork as he guides it to Coelho. Coelho back to Borges. Borges trying to free himself for a shot. Now back to Coelho. Gets around a couple of defenders. Sneaking his way inside, trying to center up, but two defenders staying close, and Foxboro has really been tight defensively up close to their own net. Coelho just needing to stay with it. He's been trying to make something happen here these last couple of trips up the field, but the defense has been up to the task for the Warriors. Santos now up ahead to De Silva. Alvarenga just a step late as that ball ends up deflected out of play. And De Silva up ahead once again to Coelho, now gets it right back. So Araujo streaking up the field, tried to hit him with that pass now up the far side, just past Araujo. Now it's Torina carrying ahead, and Foxboro dumping it back across the center line. As we're right about the midway point in this first half action. Quick strike here for Foxboro, and again, Gomes able to get a hand on it, and that's enough to deflect it out of play as Joe Cusack released that shot. Cusack's had a couple of chances here in this first half to get his team on the board. And so Foxboro will have the corner kick on the near side. A lot of communication on both sides as this kick is released, headed, and in. And so after a couple of opportunities in this half, it is Dylan Barrera who buries the header, and that is going to give the Foxboro Warriors the first lead of this match. They're on top now, 1-0. Still 19 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the half. So continuing to be the only scorer on the season for the Warriors, who now quickly carry in again deep. And so Milford now having to come from behind, something that they have not really had to do much this season. But still a long way to go. 18 minutes still to come in this first half. And now the whistle from the look of the reaction from Cusack going against Foxboro. Araujo that time trying to facilitate, pushing up ahead toward Lucas De Silva. But the pass picked off for Foxboro. They have been able to read Milford well through this half, and now Gomes, just a step outside the box, has to boot this one upfield, as that was Barrera again coming in towards the net. Quick substitution on the Foxboro side before we continue. Looks like Milford will get some fresh personnel on the field as well as we come down to 17 minutes to play in this first half. Borges trying to push forward now. That one out of play right over towards the Milford coaching staff. Toss from Alvarenga into Coelho. Now Borges trying to break through a double team, getting it to Coelho. Coelho carries back into the open field. Nick Ribeiro briefly getting possession of the ball. Now taken over by Foxboro on the far sideline with room to move ahead. And trying to hit Barrera with a quick pass, but fortunately for Milford, they were able to deflect that one. Here's Araujo now to Borges trying to get it back, but cleared out by Morrison. Torina to Borges. Borges down into the corner. Trying to center this up. No one home. And Foxboro clearing that one out. It just does go out of play. And Milford with the toss into Coelho, who's immediately triple teamed. And so the points of emphasis for this Foxboro defense have been containing Coelho and Araujo, and they've been doing a very good job at that. These are the kind of situations where it's important to see contributions from other sources. And a bad angle shot for Foxboro, just taking the chance, and that one deflects hard off the near corner and out of play. And this will send us down to the final 15 minutes of this first half. Foxboro with the lone goal so far in this period to take the lead. And over the head of Coelho, but the whistle going against Foxboro here. Borges to Coelho. The no-look pass in the direction of Borges, but Foxboro getting to it first. Now Ribeiro, some nice footwork. And Araujo taken down. Pedro Araujo lining up for the free kick as Pereira talks things over with the official. Milford trying to generate a chance here to tie this matchup. And takes the deflection and now lofts it back inside right towards Coelho, but Foxboro able to clear it out. Torina trying to dump back in. Now it's Nuno Mestre. And Barrera now with the ball on his foot right at midfield. The defense able to take something off of it. And now Lucas Da Silva sends that ball softly over towards the far side of the field. And it deflects out. We'll say last touch by Milford. We'll go down now to 13 minutes to play in this first half action. So Barrera with his 4th goal of this 2019 season. I beg your pardon, 3rd goal of the season. For Foxboro, they have not been able to net more than 1 goal in a match so far on this year. So the 1-0 win against Mansfield, they were able to score a goal in a 1-1 draw against Canton, and then, as I mentioned, they were scoreless in their matchup against Canton last Friday. Foxboro not taking any chances there with Coelho coming in, guided out of play by Timmy Bain. Made that very nice defensive play on Leo Coelho earlier in the half. And one of Milford's better chances of this first half. Now Dan Santos with a nice play in midfield. Scarlet Hawks have not been able to gain some consistent momentum yet in this half. A couple of minutes where they looked like they were starting to gain some traction, and Foxboro coming through with the goal. Here's Borges now inside and taking no chances as Tierney. He slides in to make the stop. Foxboro taking their time, but Ribeiro pushes this one back in. Araujo has it. 2-on-2. If Milford can hustle, Araujo sending that one in towards net, and the stop made by Tierney. So finally, what seemed like the first time in this entire half, Araujo with a little bit of space to work with, releases the quick shot, but Tierney able to make the stop. Here's Torina now, and has it wrestled away from behind. Good play by Daniel Isaza, senior for Foxboro. Ball goes out of play, and we'll now approach the final 10 minutes of the first half. The lone goal in the period belonging to the Warriors. Foxboro dumping down into the corner. Matt Angelini giving chase for the Warriors, but that drifts out. Milford tosses back in, now trying to clear it upfield, but that will deflect out off of Milford. And as this ball loops in towards net, the offsides call. Under 9.5 minutes. Breeze picking up a little bit out there as this first half has gone along. Right now blowing from left to right. There's Araujo again, but loses control of it. And Milford just saving that one from going out of play. But Foxboro now pushing it ahead towards Barrera. Coach Edwards with some glowing praise of the Foxboro striker before this match, saying he felt like he was in all likelihood the most gifted striker in the league. And the stats certainly bore that out last season. Of course, Wallace and de Oliveira ended up taking home the Hockomock League MVP for boys soccer. But de Oliveira and Barrera with the same amount of goals generated last season, both with 22. Wallison did edge Barrera out in points overall on the season, 29-24. Here's Araujo now. That shot was deflected on the way in and out of play toward the near side. So we'll give Milford another corner kick opportunity. Lucas Da Silva in that near corner. Milford looking for an opportunity here to break through. This first gets to Jordan Borges. Now Araujo couldn't settle it down. Now Torino will carry it back in. And gets a nice feed from Araujo. And now this one boomed out of play. Here's Borges. Now back outside. And now this one quickly in off the foot of João Pedro da Silva. Good looking chance there for the Scarlet Hawks, but the stop again made by Tierney. Milford has faced some of the better goalkeepers in the league in these early days of the season. We talked about it quite a bit in that matchup against Franklin. Rudolph, the keeper there in Franklin, so good under constant siege in the entire game. And while he did allow 3 goals, there are a lot of other keepers that would have probably let in about a half dozen with the way that Milford was firing them in that game. But now down the other end of the field, we'll see the free kick chance for Dylan Barrera. It'll come with just about 6 minutes left to go in the half. Foxboro already on top, looking for more. This will deflect in, and easy stop made by Kevin Gomes. Leaving that one behind briefly was Max Beagle. Now push back to the Scarlet Hawks D, and now on to the keeper. Lines this one up, and Jordan Borges getting a couple of shoves in the back. Did not go unnoticed. There's Coelho now carrying in towards the middle. Finds Borges, gets it right back. Losing control. Now trying to regroup. Instead, it's back to Torina. And off the foot of Gabe Alvarenga and out of play. Milford turning it over. So we have just 4.5 minutes to go. Torina finds it once again. Toss in by Jeremy Neal. Borges is there quickly. Push this one on towards the corner. Araujo able to get there in time. One-on-one against Morrison. Now eventually has it poked away, and Da Silva to Torina, right back to Pedro Araujo. The Foxboro D pushes that one out of play. Now 3.5 minutes left. Time winding down in this first half. Borges again trying to battle through a double team coming out of the corner. A nice pass back to Borges, gives him a little bit of space. Now pushed on. The shot attempt no good. One back by Milford, but the whistle going against the Scarlet Hawks, much to the chagrin of the home fans. From the look of some of the personnel out on the field as this first half has gone on, we might need to get a fresh roster from Coach Edwards after this match. A couple of the uniform numbers out there right now not matching up to the roster to start the year. Now Foxboro continuing to carry in deep. We're approaching the final 2-minute mark. Da De Silva along the far side, but Foxboro there to intercept again, and the clock now frozen as we go under 2 minutes. Hard collision as Alvarenga tried to come down with that one. Sets up the Foxboro free kick. Taken by Will Morrison. Deflected down by Milford. Now De Silva along the near sideline. It's pushed out. Milford ball. Less than 90 seconds to go in this half. Now up ahead to the keeper, wasting no time. Curling that one out towards Tarina. Final seconds of this first half. The deflection out again. Back out across the middle. Foxboro trying to send it in for one more chance. Milford trying to bring it upfield. Borges up ahead, but could not hit Araujo with that pass. Leisurely toss in by Foxboro. Intercepted by Milford, and there is the whistle to signal the end of this first half. So just one goal on the board over the first 40 minutes, and it belongs to Dylan Barrera of Foxboro. He gives the Warriors a 1-0 lead. They will carry that lead into the intermission. And so we will pause here, and we'll continue our coverage into the second half of this match just after this break. So again, stay tuned to coverage of Milford High School boys soccer right here on Milford TV. And welcome back once again to the athletic fields here at Milford High School as we begin second half action in this boys soccer matchup between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the Foxboro Warriors. Again, Tim Coet here with you on the call. And it is a 1-0 lead for Foxboro. Just past the 20-minute mark in that first half. Dylan Barrera with a header in past Gomes to give Foxboro the only score of that first half. Milford now attacking from left to right across your screens here in the second half action. And again, these are two offenses that a year ago were the two very best, combining for 109 goals scored, these two schools combined through that 2018 fall season. 57 goals scored for Foxboro, 52 for Milford. No other team in the entire Hockomock League had more than 36 goals. So it goes to show you just how lethal these two offenses were. However, so far in this one, it's been the defense that's been a story through a lot of the action so far, particularly on the Foxboro side, making a couple of very good stops in that first half and draping themselves on both Pedro Araujo and Leo Coelho, limiting what they've been able to do. Meanwhile, we see another early timeout called here. We saw it in the first half. The timeout called maybe about 5 minutes in to that first half action. Now Just about a minute and a half in. And just a quick one as it turns out. Both sides now right back out there. This may have been a matchup that Milford would have considered playing under the lights, as they have been inclined to do quite a bit over the last couple of seasons, but we continue through these early weeks of the fall season to see a lot of precautions taken against the threat of mosquitoes. And Tripoli and West Nile being detected with regularity through a lot of this area of Massachusetts, and the schools electing to keep games and practices at an earlier hour to minimize the exposure, as this shot is going to find the back of the net, and a quick strike for the Scarlet Hawks, and just like that, they are able to even up this match. And immediately injecting some life in, and that was Leo Coelho. And we talked about it. He has not had much space to operate in this first half. Foxboro's been doing a very good job of keeping a close eye on Coelho, but able to break free there for a quick chance and able to deposit it in the back of the net. Just a quick turnaround, gets away from his man, and then quickly fires it past Tierney. What a snipe from Coelho. And so we are all even now at a goal apiece. So that one coming just about 4 minutes in. And you can already hear now a lot of confidence out there. Starting to show through for Milford, a lot more communication. Meanwhile, Foxboro starting to loosen up one of their other keepers on the sidelines. They have two backup keepers on the sideline. I do believe it is still Dylan Tierney out there right now. All three keepers with the 00 uniform on, so a little tricky to decipher who was out on the field. Not terribly familiar with this Foxboro group, as we see a Milford player shaken up after contact. That was João Pedro da Silva, but able to get back to his feet. And now it's Pedro Araujo. Milford trying to push the tempo here, starting to feel that they have a chance here to seize momentum. Araujo dumping that one back in. Coelho has it taken away, and Foxboro guides it out of play. So a very different start to this half than what we saw in the first half. Foxboro really controlled play for about the first 10 minutes of that first half. It's part of what prompted the early timeout call by Coach Edwards in the first half. Dan Santos now jumping up into the action. Pressure on at midfield for Milford. Now Araujo carrying across the midfield, has a triangle of defenders around him in close proximity. And now Dylan Barrera getting tripped up. That induces the whistle. Milford helping him to his feet, and a sign of good sportsmanship. This one poked along by Foxboro after it dropped down in a crowd. Milford able to get the clear upfield. Foxboro now dumping it back in. And now Milford with some dangerous moments there. Potential chance forming for Matt Angelini, but the Hawks pushing out of play. So for Leo Coelho, that was goal number 4 already on the season here in game number 4. Milford will watch this one travel across the goal line. A goal kick now here for Gomes. Still in the opening 10 minutes of this half. Santos now directing traffic, hits Araujo with that pass on the money. Had one defender to beat, couldn't quite settle it the way he would have liked to. And Foxborough with reinforcements there quickly. Santos with a couple of good aggressive plays here. Now pushed ahead by Barrera, he leaves it behind. Now uses good footwork to win it back, sends a weak shot towards net. And it stopped well to the far side of the net by Gomes. And again, right back towards Barrera. Now upfield now, this one sneaks past the Foxboro keeper, but off to the far side and out of play. Coelho there again. The goal kick for the Warriors. Push down the far side of the field. Santos there again. Watches that one go out of play. And he will make the toss back in. And set it as Foxboro who makes the toss. Araujo back there, but the Foxboro defense there as well. Now Lucas da Silva in a foot race. Now the centering pass whizzes past the goal mouth to the opposite side of the field, and that will roll out of play. .59:58 on the clock, so a lot of action within the first 10 minutes of this second half. Now knotted up. This is familiar territory for Foxboro. They have been tied up with their opponents for a good deal of the season so far. Last season, Milford was able to win the matchup here on their home field 4-0. Wallace de Oliveira was able to score a hat trick as part of that victory, and Leo Coelho with the 4th goal for Milford. And now a shot that's going to deflect off the hands of the keeper, Gomes, and in. And Foxboro with a quick chance that materializes here to give them the lead back now. The score 2-1. And so back and forth we go in this half. And so it was Joe Cusack with the score for Foxboro, and he had two very good chances in the first half. One off of a free kick just outside the box. Had another opportunity later in the half, was denied both times, but finally able to break through. So after Coelho's shot had tied it up, Cusack able to give his team the lead right back. So Milford really getting pushed in this match. Now, literally as well with that push on Araujo. Releases the quick free kick ahead to Borges. Crossing pass getting deflected. Now, Joe Pedro da Silva trying to track it down on the opposite side of the field. Lucas da Silva whiffing on that ball. And Coelho could not settle that on his foot. Frustrated and might be moving a bit gingerly after. Might have taken that ball hard off the top of the foot. Back out to the Milford defense with just over 27 minutes remaining in the second half. And now Barrera could not quite break free. The Milford defense able to regroup nicely. Now Coelho again can't fight through that double team. Now a pass offline allows Foxboro to feed it to Barrera. And now Santos sliding in to break that one up as Barrera was trying to make his way down into the corner. Now Araujo trying to close in here on Morrison. The ball ends up out of play. Milford will have the toss. Nuno Mestre will toss this one in, finds Araujo. Centering pass right on the foot and a backwards shot attempt there for Lucas da Silva. With his back to the net, trying to send that one in off his heel. Just would not go. Now here's Araujo with a shot attempt that's going to go over the net and out of play. A couple of looks on the Foxboro goal there for the Scarlet Hawks. The best one for da Silva. And so this does end up going as a corner kick for the Hawks. And a nice, juicy rebound there for the Scarlet Hawks, but the Foxboro defense able to get in there and clear it away. And now this one glances off the hands of Tierney, but up over the crossbar and out of play. This one drifting in again for Milford. It finds Araujo. Trying to break it back out of the corner. Weaving his way around one defender, and now looks like he might have taken A bit of a kick there as he was down on the turf. Now Barrera trying to muscle his way through the Milford defense, continuing to carry with 5 defenders around him. And now the whistle going against Foxboro. Ford just pushing this one ahead. Araujo tracking it down towards the midfield, but loses control. Now the goal scorer in this half for Foxboro, Joe Cusack, trying to carry that one ahead. Pass a little too far out in front, was frustrated with himself. Trying to jump right back into the play. There's Mestre now. Good feed ahead to Borges. And Borges has it drift out of play, and Foxboro now on the whistle will make the substitution. Max Beagle back out onto the field. Just under 23 minutes to go in the second half. Serena trying to find Araujo. But Will Morrison. It's been Morrison more often than not that has been charged with keeping an eye on Pedro Araujo, and he has done a very good job throughout this game. Action continuing here for the moment, but a Milford player down. I believe it's João Pedro da Silva favoring the shin as that shot came in towards net, deflecting out of play. And da Silva right now finally helped to his feet by Jordan Borges. So Milford shorthanded as that play continued up towards their net. With da Silva down on the ground, but he'll stay out there as the Warriors now have the corner kick in from the near side. And the deflection down, but right to Gomes, who's able to make the stop. That looked like it deflected off of Milford towards the keeper. And this one deflecting off of Leo Coelho's back. And now pushed ahead by the Hawks. Full head of steam for Jordan Borges towards the far sideline. Now floats this one in. The deflection all alone inside for Milford. And right now the fans celebrating, but I do not believe that is a goal as the whistle had come just prior to. So instead the goal kick. Very good looking chance for the Scarlet Hawks, but they continue to trail in this match as we now are at about the 20-minute mark. Santos poking it back in again. Borges. And ahead now for a shot attempt, and the keeper far out for Foxboro that time, denying Leo Coelho. Coelho scoring to tie this match just about 3.5 minutes or so into this second half, and then Cusack putting Foxboro back on top 2-1. That is where we stand. Back and forth across midfield here with 19 minutes to go. And this will travel right to the edge of the far side. And deflects out off of the Scarlet Hawks. Substitution in for the Warriors. Ben Ferguson, a junior, out. And it looks like Cusack will get a breather. Cusack, it turns out, will stay on the field. Coming off instead, Ali Nasri. But Cusack was a terrific facilitator for this team last season through the 2018 fall season, had 12 assists but did not score a goal last season. So trying to become more of a finisher on this team this year, stepping up now after the departure of that strong senior class and coming through with a key goal here that is the difference in this match. Raujo, a little give and go with Borges, now releases a line drive shot, but the save made by Tierney. Torina deflects this one hard back in, but fresh into the game, Ben Ferguson sends it back towards the midfield. Now Borges ahead to João Pedro da Silva. And da Silva loses control as he carried that one into the box. Milford wanted a whistle, but it looked like he just got tangled up with his own footing. Now over the near sideline and out of play. Now Cusack lifts this one in. Barrera there, the keeper completely out of position. And Gabe Alvarenga able to buy Gomes some time to get back. Committed far out, Kevin Gomes. It was dangerous with Barrera right there near the ball, but fortunately, Milford able to deflect that one out towards the far side, and Gomes able to get back between the pipes, but uneasy moment there. Mestre now can't move that one along. Now he takes a tumble as that ball goes out of play. And it will stay with the Warriors. Barrera trying to settle this one down and now pushed down from behind by Lucas da Silva. And a warning there issued to da Silva. No card issued. But a good opportunity here for the top scorer for the Warriors, Dylan Barrera. He has a goal in this game. That one bends well wide of the net and out of play, so unable to capitalize that time. 14 minutes and 43 seconds left in the second half. Foxboro continues to lead by a score of 2-1. hesitation here. Getting an assist with the equipment over in the Foxboro net. It's Tierney. Now Araujo, nice pass ahead, but De Silva outpositioned by Jeremy Neal. Two number 8s have had a couple of good one-on-one battles in this half. And now this one pushed across the goal mouth and out of play. João Pedro De Silva trying for the quick strike. It's been a subdued crowd here. A couple of fans from Foxboro making the trip. Milford crowd watching their team get by far their toughest opponent of the season. Tough battle in King Philip this past weekend as well. Able to gut out that 2-1 win. Now a 2-1 deficit that they face here going into the late stages of this second half. And Milford's going to call a timeout here. That stops the clock with 12 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the second half. We will take the timeout as well. It is Foxboro 2 and Milford 1. We'll have 12 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the second half when we return next here on this coverage of Milford High School boys soccer on Milford TV. Nuno Mestre tosses the ball back into play with less than 14.5 minutes to go. Milford rolls that one in towards net, but an easy stop for the keeper, Dylan Tierney. Milford, the #1 offense in the Hockomock League through their first 3 games of the season, but held to just a single goal through the first 67 minutes of this match. Now Foxboro charging into the box and a sliding stop made by Gomes. Foxboro, that was Max Beagle with the chance, and now Will Morrison with the corner kick. Milford not wanting to fall any further behind with time starting to run thin in this game. A couple of chances for PJ Frost just outside the box, but couldn't settle it. And now Alvarenga will carry up the far side. João Pedro De Silva right at the edge of the field to play. Down under 12.5 minutes to go. Couple of home games this week for this Milford boys soccer team. They will take on Mansfield here coming up on Wednesday, as this shot ends up right on net, and the stop made by Tierney. We will have live coverage of Milford girls volleyball on Wednesday as they take on their Mansfield counterparts. Santos can't get the clear. That ended up briefly with Dylan Barrera, but then the whistle goes against Foxboro. So that girls volleyball match on Wednesday scheduled for a 5:15 start. So you can once again expect us on air with live coverage both on the educational channel as well as on our educational live stream on milfordtv.net right around 5:15. So again, bringing you multiple ways to tune into our live coverage this season, not just streaming on the web, but also live coverage directly on our educational channel as Barrera releases another shot, this time the save made by Kevin Gomes. Mestre up ahead for Coelho. Coelho trying to find Lucas Da Silva, but cleared out by the Warriors. Barrera now closing in on Torina. Might not have been expecting to see him. Torina now with the boot. Back to João Pedro Da Silva. And now carried down right to the edge of the box. Softly placed in by Milford, but cleared out quickly by the Warriors. And we're now under 10 minutes to go. Milford looking for a late surge. Coelho hesitates. Now finds Araujo. Right back to Coelho now with one man to beat. The crowd imploring Coelho to shoot it. Fans looking for the quick release. Coelho ends up getting tripped up, and he will have a free kick here right at the edge of the box on the near side. Bent in on net, but the stop made by Tierney. And Tierney will wait to send this one downfield with now 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the second half. Milford able to carry back in deep. And Coelho loses his feet. That pass handcuffed him a bit. And now in for Araujo, but deflected away by Morrison, who continues to defend the league's leading scorer well. Coelho getting pushed a couple of times there, induces the whistle. Free kick with 8 minutes. Deflected just over the crossbar. The header chance for the Scarlet Hawks, but just a little bit high, and it looked initially like that one might come back down, but instead drifts up over the bar. Another close call for the Scarlet Hawks. Here's Cusack now. He'll dump this one down into the corner. And the pass drifts across the goal, but no one there to receive it. Torina now finding Araujo. And back into Dylan Barrera. Carlos Torina will send this one the length of the field, and the keeper calling for it. Very quiet sideline for the Scarlet Hawks right now. Here's Borges. He gets muscled off the ball. Tarina steps in. João Pedro da Silva loses it to Ronnie McClellan. And now deflected back in by Daniel Asaza. And now ahead for Barrera, but he had a step on the defense. Borges now up ahead, and Will Morrison there again. Da Silva along the sideline, now Araujo. And just a little bit too far out in front. So Milford had a man there. Gabe Alvarenga with an elbow there into his defender. And so Cusack now will have the free kick for the Warriors as we're now under the 5-minute mark. And Tarina boots it downfield. The defense there to push it back in for the Warriors. Coach Franchino putting some fresh legs out on the field for this final stretch of the second half. This is going to stay Foxboro ball, the deep toss on their attacking side. Milford whiffing on a couple of chances to clear this ball. Now Tarina able to work it out of danger. Now Mestre, he loses it. Now João Pedro da Silva getting back, denying Max Beagle the clear chance. Now finally Dan Santos able to push ahead. Just 3.5 minutes left to go. Here's Coelho. A goal kick for the Warriors that will come with just about 3 minutes left on the clock. Let's see what Milford can pull out here in these final moments. A 3-game winning streak to open this season in serious jeopardy now. Now Da Silva looping this one in, but the keeper will pull it down. 2:24 on the clock. And about to see the clock now stopped at the 2-minute mark. And Foxboro able to carry in deep, but offsides. And Milford knows now they will not have many more looks downfield. I'm going to try to make something happen here. The entire Foxboro bench now on their feet, anticipating their second victory of the season. This one taking a good deflection back to Jordan Borges, but he didn't see it at first. And that allows Foxboro to come in and get the clear back out to midfield. And now Coelho gets tripped up. And just a beat slow getting back to his feet. Now back in action. Blows past Cusack. Now carries inside, releases the shot, and just wide to the near side. And a corner kick here for the Scarlet Hawks in what may very well be their last best chance to tie this game. And rolling up to the top of the box. Milford has their keeper up on the attacking side of the field for an extra man. A hard boot in, deflected out. And another corner kick chance. See Kevin Gomes wandering in now into the box on the opposite side of the field, dropping this one down, and it deflects in. And with just seconds left to go, Milford is able to tie it up. Right now it is João Pedro da Silva who celebrates. Getting mobbed right now just in front of the Milford bench. And so getting a second corner kick chance here in the closing seconds. Milford is able to score to tie this match up at 2 in literally the final moments. And so there is your final whistle. So Milford able to pull out the draw here in the final seconds, and you can see the frustration on the Foxboro side, about 15 seconds away from a victory. And João Pedro da Silva off a scrum in front of the net, off the corner kick, able to get the header in. And Milford steals the 2-2 tie here today. So Milford now will improve to 3-0-1 on the season, and for Foxboro, their third straight draw. Their record now 1-0-3, and so Milford will hang on to the top spot in the Davenport division, receiving goals today from Leo Coelho, and then a dramatic score in the final seconds from João Pedro da Silva. And so 2-2 your final score. And again, Milford will be right back in action here at home on Wednesday, taking on Mansfield. But that will wrap up our coverage here for this afternoon. For Mike Sperling and also Jerry Maglita, I am Tim Coet. Your final score one final time, Milford 2 and Foxboro 2, as these two Davenport rivals play to a draw here on the Milford turf. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.